All right, let's talk global shipping. If you've ever sent a package to another country, you know it can get complicated. Well, in 2025, complicated got a serious upgrade. It turned into a full-blown labyrinth for a lot of people. So in this explainer, we're going to try to navigate that maze together, figure out what's really going on, and maybe find a way out. Let's get right into it. I mean, have you ever been there trying to ship something overseas and you just feel totally lost? You're staring at this customs form, it's got all these boxes, and you're just thinking, did I do this right? Or you're trying to figure out the final cost and it feels like a total guessing game. Yeah, you are definitely not alone in that feeling. And for small businesses or even just regular folks, that feeling has gotten so much more intense lately. The whole landscape of global trade has shifted, and it shifted fast. What used to be just a minor headache, well, now it feels like what one expert called an impossible maze. And that's the perfect word for it, really. So, what's behind all this chaos? Where did this maze come from? Well, it all boils down to a super rapid, really sweeping series of new trade policies. Let's break down what's being called the tariff storm of 2025. Okay, first, let's do a quick refresher, just so we're all on the same page. What's a tariff? Super simple. It's just a tax on stuff that's imported from other countries. Now, governments use them for all sorts of reasons, to make money, to protect their own industries from foreign competition, sometimes even for national security. But the key thing here, when they change really, really fast, they create, you guessed it, massive confusion. And quickly is definitely the word. I mean, just look at the pace of this. We're talking about a timeline from early 2025. It wasn't just one little policy tweak. It was one thing after another. Bam, February, bam, March. It was this cascade, month after month, hitting different countries, different products, creating this rulebook that was basically being rewritten on the fly. No wonder everyone was confused. So how was this all happening? Well, according to the Congressional Research Service, these actions were actually authorized under existing U.S. laws. The administration pointed to acts like the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, that's a mouthful, and Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act. Basically, these are laws that give the government power to restrict imports if they see a threat to national security or the economy. And here's where you really see the impact. These were not small adjustments, not by a long shot. We're talking a 50% global tariff on steel and aluminum, another 25% on cars. These are just massive numbers that completely change the math on what it costs to move things around the world. Okay, so we've got this big storm of high-level policy, but what does that actually mean for, a regular person just trying to ship a birthday gift to their cousin, or a small business trying to get an order to a customer? It all comes down to one thing, the high cost of confusion. And that cost isn't just money. It translates into these incredibly real, super frustrating problems. You've got packages just stuck at the border, causing these crazy delays. The paperwork, it's gotten more complicated than ever before. There's even a higher risk that your package just gets confiscated because of a simple mistake. And yeah, of course, the price you thought you were paying can suddenly skyrocket with these unexpected taxes. It's just a recipe for total frustration. And this quote, this just nails the feeling on the ground, doesn't it? It's not about numbers on some government spreadsheet. It's about that very real human feeling of being completely trapped in a system that feels like it was designed to be confusing. But just like in any maze, there are always guides, people who know the way out. And all of this complexity has created a huge need for experts who can basically navigate the chaos for you. And the difference is just night and day. When you're trying to do it alone, you're wrestling with that complex paperwork, you're running the risk of delays, and you're dealing with all that stress. But with an expert guide, suddenly that mess becomes professional customs prep. The delays turn into smooth sailing through the border. You can even get access to discounted rates you wouldn't get otherwise. The whole game changes from stress and uncertainty to, confidence and peace of mind. So how do they actually pull this off? Well, it's really a mix of expertise and just smart logistics. They team up with the big carriers, we're talking FedEx, UPS, all of them, to get better rates. They have people whose entire job is to just live and breathe customs paperwork, so they get it right every time. They even do simple things that make a huge difference, like correcting addresses to avoid simple mistakes. And the whole time, you get to track your package and see exactly where it is. It's the whole package, literally. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. Why does any of this matter to you if you're not, shipping something today? Well, because this whole story is about so much more than just one package. What this really shows us is that those big, kind of abstract headlines you see about trade policy,
They aren't abstract at all. They have a direct, real-world impact on our lives. It affects the price of stuff you buy, the stability of our supply chains, and whether or not a small business in your town can sell its products to someone on the other side of the world. It's the big picture policy hitting your wallet, right at home.
And all this really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This tariff storm from 2025, it might calm down eventually, but let's be real. The world of global trade is probably always going to be complex, always going to be a little unpredictable. So the big takeaway here is really just the importance of being prepared, which leaves us with a question. In a world that's always changing, how are you going to navigate the next trade storm?